Way to go, superstar! I knew you could do it.
Oh, you can see it. You can see it. Anyway. Hey, it's Allie. Welcome back to my deteriorating mental state. It's nice to see you again. On this episode, we talk about my new hyperfixation, which is keeping me from going insane. After consuming unholy amounts of YouTube content, TikToks, and just Tumblr posts over the last 5 days, I have decided to make this video. I don't know why I decided to make this video. So welcome to the Unhinged review of Now, I'm pretty sure this game is everyone's most anticipated game of the year. Like, I swear to you, as soon as this game came out, I forgot about every other game that came out this year. Yeah, like, no, literally, I had another video planned about indie games for the end of the year, because indie games have just been up here this year. But then the spirit of Freddy just like possessed me like a child possessing an animatronic, and now here we are. I have personally been into FNAF since 2014, and now I'm 21. I guess it really wasn't a phase. Like, you think you're over something, and then just like the spirit of Markiplier just comes down and says, "You're safe now, my child." And honestly, I believe it. And it just takes you back to that time, you know, before everything got worse. Oh, who am I kidding? I was 14. I had crippling depression. It was much worse back then than it is now. It gets better, kids. Needless to say, I was very, very excited for this game to come out. And it did. It came out all right. Out of the closet. It's okay, Roxanne. You can come. It's a safe place here. It's a safe place. One of mine, I'm pretty sure like everybody else's favorite parts of the game is the characters. Well, as far as I've seen on Tumblr, and Tumblr but worse, TikTok, all of the characters are just so funny and charming to be around. It's really such a delight. I remember in Sister Location when they first added voice acting, and that was like a huge fucking thing in the game, hearing Baby's voice for the first time like talk to you, or even just the voiceover guy, which I think his name is like Dread Unit. First of all, I think his name is Andy Fields. Can we give it up for him? He has been holding it down since Sister Location, okay? I hope he is employed forever in Five Nights at Freddy's, because I love his voice so much. Is that weird to say? That's not weird to say. That's not weird to say. And the fact that this game is fully like voice acted just makes it like so much better. Like Gregory being the sassy little child that he is just and the fact that like Freddy, oh my god, Freddy. We're getting there. But like the interactions, not just between like Gregory and like all of the other animatronics, but also the animatronics in themselves, like that little interaction between Freddy and Roxanne.
Who's there? Hey, Freddy, get out of my room!
Like, when you enter her room, like, I'm not sure if it's after you, it's not after you take her eyes. If you enter her room at some point during the game, like, she has this, like, little voice line that she says to Freddy, like, "Get out of my room, Freddy." And it's just, it's just a little thing, but it's so cute and it's so good. Like, you're just like, oh, they're, like siblings. Oh my god. Like, what the fuck? It's so fucking cute. They have my heart, and the fact that like Freddy doesn't want to harm them in any way, and Gregory's just like, "You thought you had a choice? You don't have a choice." I think the overall design of this world is extremely well done. First of all, like, out of all the playthroughs that I've seen people play, and also myself, like, it's like this place, like there's a reason this place is like as big and as grand as it is. Like, they did not spare any expense when designing this place, because it is exactly what you would have thought of like a pizza megaplex. Like, if Chuck E. Cheese had a budget to make a mall, this is what it would look like. And it's exactly what we want in terms of like the design of the place, like all of the like the raceways and stuff like that. Like, y'all remember Funland? I don't know if y'all remember Funland, because I know a lot of people are comparing this to like Dave & Buster's or Round One. No. Funland. Funland is what this reminds me of. I don't know if that's just an East Coast thing, but Funland was essentially a pizza megaplex. It's pretty much what it is. It's a giant, like, arcade-like place. There's like an arcade area, there's like a jungle gym area, there was go-karts and stuff like that. Like, it was pretty much what this is. I don't know if, like, what they based it off of, because this is just like every kid's dream come true, and I would spend my whole life there. Like, there are spoilers, there are heavy amounts of like little lore indications that Gregory has been living in this pizza megaplex, and honestly, I would too. I would too. Dead ass. And they did such a good job at making this game feel like a Five Nights at Freddy's game, with all of the characters and the charm, especially from Dread Unit, and all of the charm and the wit and like the charismatic, like all of it. They just made it so much like a Five Nights at Freddy's game, while still being able to like push the boundaries of what a Five Nights at Freddy's game is. And I will get to that in a second, but we have to backtrack a bit because I promised I'd talk about. Now, I know FNAF is like on everyone's chopping block on those videos of like the worst fandoms ever. I get it. I understand. Trust me. I understand. But I have to say, like Big Time Rush coming back, it is a lot like us growing up. You know, everyone got to go to that Big Time Rush concert except for me, because they just didn't want to come anywhere near the DC area, which is fine. It's fine. But back to FNAF. I think, like Big Time Rush, the fan base has grown with the games. And I think a lot of the people who were children when the first game came out, like I was 14, I saw a TikTok, somebody talking about they were 11 when the first game came out, and now we're adults now, like at least 18 years of age, and we're still loving the game. I think the game has grown a lot with us, and our expectations of what is supposed to come out of it have also grown, and I think they've done a really good job at like keeping that expectations for the community, for the most part. Like, yeah, these games are still meant for like children. Like, I definitely think Gregory should be able to curse. I think he's earned it. All the shit he's gone through, I think Gregory has earned the right to curse. And also, judging based off of his personality and his appeared theorized age of being like under the age of 10, yeah, he definitely curses. He's a fucking child. He absolutely curses. But like, hey, it's a game for children. I get it. I'm just saying, it's fun to watch people on TikTok and Tumblr and Twitter like go crazy about this game and talk about how far it's come and call Freddy daddy. Oh, we gotta talk. Safe either, Moondrop, Sundrop, none of y'all are safe.
There is only one rule. Keep the lights on. On. On.
I'm uncomfortable.
Multiple times have I seen people, especially queer people. Why are we thirsting over something that is supposed to be a robot that is supposed to be taking care of babies? Why are we thirsting over it? Do we need to tell the class something? And I understand, I get it. You have a caretaker kink, your dad never was in your life, and for some reason you find a Montgomery Gator very, very attractive. Or Roxanne Wolf, or Chica. What is wrong with y'all? It's like, Freddy, you either want Freddy to be your dad, or you want Freddy to be your daddy. Oh my god, okay. But I understand where this son in love of like Freddy is coming from. I think it's the like genuine sincerity in which Freddy like says stuff to you in the game. Like, I'm sorry, like, but when he says,
"Way to go, superstar,"
And, you know, also, spoilers, but Freddy never betrays Gregory. Like, he is on his side 100% of the time. He never gets corrupted. Like, the only time you can ever get Freddy to go against you is if you fail, like, a couple of the mini games. But, like, Freddy 100% is on your side, like, the entire time. And I think is also that sincerity as well, to, like, we're able to fully put our trust in him. Because at the beginning of the game, I was like, some of the things he was saying, I was like, can I really put my full trust into you? But then after like the multiple endings, I was like, oh, I can put my full trust into him. Also, why did we let Gregory drive a car? Like, Freddy's a robot. Could he not figure out AI programming in the internet, figure out how to drive a car? Why is this like 7-year-old driving a car? No one's suspicious. No one's even remotely suspicious. Okay, but anyway, just like all of that together just like fills your heart with warmth. Well, for some of y'all, it fills something else with warmth.
You need to leave!
I guess we should talk about the actual game now. So I'm gonna get this off right off the bat. The game has bugs. Yeah, no shit. We know the game has bugs. That's not something new. Everybody knows this. It's at this point, it's not a fair critique of the game to be like, oh, it's super buggy. And it's like, yeah, okay. So is like FIFA and Battlefield. What is your point? Like, I understand that, but I think it's where we go with these bugs that kind of had that. I understand it's like kind of like, oh, if you're gonna ship a finished game, it shouldn't have any bugs in it. And I'm like, yeah, that is the, you know, that's the goal. But I think especially for an indie game, that threshold is higher for the amount of bugs that like you're allowed to have in a game. At least as me, if you don't know, I'm a game design student, so like I keep up with this type of stuff and I know how this stuff like works. Like, there is a set amount of bugs that you know the game like has, and you just hope that like the player will never run into. And then there's a whole nother set of bugs that the players find because they just like to break games. That is just something that people do. They just like to break the game, and sometimes they don't even do it on purpose. Sometimes they just break the game on accident, but it is definitely something that happens, and you just have to account for that, and you have to be ready to handle that. And I think that Steel Wheel Studios has done a really good job at like handling that like day one. There was a day one patch. They're currently working on a whole bunch of patches for the bugs that are out right now, and they even said in like a long like ass post that like we would love to keep working on this game in terms of like newer content and like DLC and stuff like that, but obviously these bugs take precedent, and we're not going to even begin working on that until these bugs are fixed. And I think that speaks volumes, especially for an indie developer in such a small group of people working on this game, about how much they have passion into this game. Okay, so real quick, I'm editing right now, but I feel like I should come on and clarify what I meant when I said, like, it's not a fair critique of the game. I think it's absolutely, if you don't like the game because there's like a shit ton of bugs in it, I feel like that's completely and honestly fair. Like, some of the bugs are definitely like game breaking. Like, sometimes you can literally soft lock yourself out, and I feel like those are the type of bugs that like definitely should have been fixed. But like Roxy being weird and like Moondrop also like running in place, like those are things that are just kind of like, I could give it a little push. But definitely game-breaking bugs definitely are more like, how did you know this was not a game-breaking bug? So when I say it's not a fair critique, I mean more of like, it's not, this shouldn't be all you're critiquing the game about, because if it is, then you essentially just made it a 10 out of 10 game. And I feel like there are other things aside from the bugs that we can talk about. Like, yes, the bugs are bad. They're bad, but I feel like we can talk about more than just the bugs, you know, and like looking past it, give it a fair critique on that. But yeah, definitely if you're one of those people who are like, I'm not playing this game because it's really fucking buggy, that is totally fair. I don't think you're valid in your opinion. Okay. Willing to work out all of these bugs. They want it to be a like amazing experience for everybody, and they're willing to put in the work to do that. Some games just be like, just push it out. It is very obvious that they want this game. What the fuck happened to the lighting? What happened to it? what happened to it? It is very obvious that they want this game to last a long time. They want people to continue to play it, whether that's through DLC or playing it for the first time or just going back and playing it again, whatever. It's very obvious that that's what they want out of this, and that's what they want the community to want out of this. That's what I want out of this. So like, they're dedicated to fixing the bugs. So I just don't, it's not an excuse. Like, it's not like saying like, oh, the game's really buggy. It's like, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, we know, so I'm gonna talk about other things other than bugs that I liked and also disliked about the game. Number one, I think this game was extremely ambitious, and that's both a pro and a con, is that the game was extremely ambitious. We had like free roaming, especially with animatronics. You had to make their AI like make sense, and a lot of the time it does, and then a lot of the time it doesn't. It's not perfect. The game, it really isn't perfect, but that is okay. I fully expect those to be fixed within like the next like couple of months, if anything, if not even a couple of weeks, honestly. Do some of the cutscenes feel like disjointed and not really fit together with the pacing of the game? Depending, that's what's hard about free roam games, is like, if you go through the game really fast and then the cutscenes happen, you're like, oh, this is all happening really fast, because in reality this is only happening within like, what, 6 hours of a night. Like, it's really hard to like pace that out with a free roam game that also has these like cutscenes in them, and sometimes the cutscenes can feel really abrupt. They're great cutscenes though, they're amazing cutscenes, but like sometimes they can feel really abrupt and kind of disjointed out of nowhere, especially if you're rushing through the game and you haven't like gotten a lot of the story, especially at the end. At the end, which brings me to the next point, is, does the story have plot holes that only really get filled in if you've discovered every single little lore bit? Unfortunately, yeah, like there's a lot of like different like plot holes that happen if you haven't discovered like everything there is about the game, or if you don't already go in with knowledge of the game, especially with Vanny and Vanessa. Like, at the end of the game, when you're about to leave, Freddy asks you, oh, do you want to leave, or you can stay and we can find out more about Vanny. And it's like, I haven't discovered, if you just rushed through the game and didn't discover any of the lore, you probably wouldn't know that much about Vanny, because the first time, and one of the only time Freddy ever says like, oh, like, I know who this person is if you get like the like Roxanne eyeball like upgrade. That's the only time he can see Vanny. All the other times he's like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, Gregory. Like, who the fuck is Vanny? What the fuck, bunny woman? What the hell? So like, if you go through the whole game without getting that upgrade and you get to the end where you fight Vanny and he's like, go fight Vanny, and it's like, well, how do you know who Vanny is? Like, how, what? That makes no sense. So there is a little bit of disjointedness there.
A few moments later.
Okay, oh my god, oh god. Sorry, I thought I was gonna barf just now. Anyway, and to my last point, am I a little bit sad that we didn't get to use Freddy as a Gundam suit and like literally fist fight William Afton? Yeah, just a tiny little bit. The DLC, I want to be able to fist fight him. I don't understand why I can't fist fight. I just want to fist fight William Afton, and I think doing that in a Freddy suit would be poetic justice. I'm just saying. But yeah, like I said, as an aspiring game designer, I know that this game isn't perfect, and I think from an outsider's point of view, you'd be like, well, damn, this game really isn't perfect. But the fact that there is such a dedicated team like working on it, like, it's great. It is great. It is great for what it is, and it's going to be amazing once they iron out all the kinks. And I feel like a lot of people share that sentiment as well. Like, the fact that there is even going to be future content. I mean, usually there is future content for Five Nights at Freddy's game. There's always been, like, DLC and stuff like that. But, like, the fact that there's going to be DLC for this game, this big-ass giant game, like, ooh. I'll be here, and I know you'll be here too, so I don't even know why we're even having this discussion, okay? Like, no game is perfect, but for fans of the series, I think it did really, really, really well at giving us what we wanted in terms of, like, a free roam game and stuff like that. Is there more stuff that everybody wants? Of course, and they can add that in the future. Like, that's the beauty of time. You can add shit to games. But after this stressful ass semester and my mental health has taken such a like deep dive into the ocean, sometimes all I feel is numbness. I'm sorry if I get a little bit emotional when Freddy says,
Way to go, superstar.
Well done, superstar.
Great.
I haven't eaten anything today. I should do that. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you want to hear me talk about more video games, stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. I have a gaming channel. Go follow my gaming channel. Go follow me on Twitch, where hopefully soon I will be playing this game in full. I have to decide whether or not I want it on the PS4 or the PlayStation, because my PlayStation has imploded and I'm trying to buy a new one, but all of them are fucking sold out. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment down if you play the game, or if you watch somebody play the game. What's your favorite part? My favorite part is obviously when Freddy calls me a superstar, because I am. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.